listening to Life Lessons for Times Such as Now. And I'm here with my co host, Crystal. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Joanna.
Guest co host, Drea.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, Dre.
And we have a special guest tonight. We're discussing financial literacy. Our other host, Miss Tracy, is unavailable to join us tonight, but she'll be there for the next one. So with that said, can our guest introduce himself?
Of course. Greg Adams. Good evening.
Good evening.
What I do currently, I am an underwriter for a specialty finance group, structured debt financing. That entails like credit facilities, forward flow financing, bridge loans, things like that. I work in the underwriting department, and I work directly for the fund itself. So that's what I'm my current role. But I do have 10 plus years in financial services. I first started out in private equity on the sales side, then moving on to do some corporate commercial refis, and didn't really know what I was doing. So I kind of got back into working for someone else and learning the back end from an operation standpoint, and that's where I am now.
Ooh, he's smart.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Very. So you think, Greg, you can tell us how can someone like myself, your services benefit us?
It depends. Like I said, my day-to-day role, like I said, is underwriting, but I wouldn't really necessarily call it a business because I don't do it full time, but I do consult on the side. Um, different 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 categories, real estate, business consulting, to trademarks. I'm right now working with a client who's bringing a kitchen product to the market, and I'm kind of helping her, guiding her. She really can't afford to have like a project manager, like an official, Six Sigma project manager. So, a guy like me come along who kind of knows a little bit about something, can help out. And that's kind of what I do. I kind of take my phone book or my cell phone. I turn that into income. I help started off helping family and friends, and then it moved on to referrals. And that's kind of how most businesses start anyway. So yeah, that's on that end. It depends on what the client's need. To answer your question, it depends on what the client's need is. Like I said, real estate. Right now, I have another client who's going through a foreclosure, and they really didn't know, the necessary steps to take. Older gentleman didn't really speak the language financially, so he wanted somebody younger and who kind of, who knows a little bit about that topic. And so I'm helping him through that, through foreclosure, bankruptcy, the whole thing. So it's just it's blended. My expertise is a little bit blended.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You mentioned real estate. So if someone was interested in getting into the real estate market, what type of assistance could you provide them?
Okay, so when it comes to the real estate, I mainly broker those deals. I don't underwrite them, but my partners, guess I can mention them, Terrier Capital. They provide. So when I bring a client to them, I like to um, I like for the relationship to be a long-lasting one. So when I bring a real estate client, to them, I want them to take advantage of all the programs that they have. And right now, we have four of them, I believe. We have the bridge loans, we have the fix and flip loans, we have the rental assistance loans or rental loans, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. So bridge, fix and flip, and rental. Let's just say those three
Mhm.
for now. So what I would do is I would have a client who, like you said, first normally they don't like taking first time buyers. I do have a partnership that does, but what normally happens is you guys may not have the closing costs for the fix and flip property. You'll come to me, I'll broker the deal, we'll underwrite it. Well, they'll underwrite it, we'll gather the necessary documents, and we can get you an approval for a bridge loan. That bridge loan will then help you pay the closing costs for the property. Once you pay the closing costs for the property, now you want to fix and flip, financing. So now you want to, be closed on the property. Now you want to fix it up. So now I can get you fix and flip financing side by side with the bridge loan. Now, once you fix it up, it's either the property sold, you pay back the bridge loan, or if you want to rent, there's a program where once it's fully rented, if it's a multi-unit, just saying in Philly, have a few clients who own in Philly. There's a multi-unit in Philly. Once it's fully, leased and it's fully occupied, then we can get you financing for each occupant in the building. So that in turn, that program pays off the fix and flip, and then you have a little bit left over to work on your next project. So I kind of, that's kind of where I'm, trying to steer my clients, is to take advantage of all three.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's kind of like, since we're talking about the realty sector, so you kind of like refer them to your business partners to help them get the loans they need to do whatever venture they're going to venture into.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct. And like I said, because there's so much competition out there, these lenders are a dime a dozen, especially private lending. I try to keep the client, on a vertical, so to speak, when it comes to receiving financing. If it's not traditional, if it's a private lender, I kind of want to have them, stick with one lender. And that's kind of what I bring to the table. We have all three programs, and you're allowed to take advantage of all three simultaneously. A lot of lenders don't do that. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's good.
That's good. So I have a question,
Sure.
Greg. I have a question. So with the entrepreneur as myself, I have a couple of businesses, but like what advice or like how would you help someone like myself who's trying to build their business or start their business when it comes to like finances? Because hopefully I'm not the only one out there like this, but I'm not that good with finances and money and all of that stuff. So I need all the help I can get. So how would you help someone like me when it comes to entrepreneurship and business?
I guess the first thing entrepreneurs or those starting a business need to understand is that it's exactly that. It's a business, right? So you'll have an entrepreneur operate their business and live out of the same bank account. You can't do that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's for lack of better words, ass backwards, right? Because so it's yeah. So I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of entrepreneurs, when they first come in, everything is kind of consolidated. Their personal stuff with their business. It's coming into the out the gate. You have to understand that it is a business, and if you want to pay yourself a small wage, then do that. But you shouldn't be using your business account. You shouldn't be using the finances that come in from your business personally. You know what I mean? You shouldn't show these things in your bank statements or in your ledger at all, because it looks bad. And the number one reason for businesses failing within the first, 3 to 5 years is when you kind of see if a business is going to succeed or not. And most of them fail in the first 3. So, and the biggest problem with that is cash flow. And a lot of times it was always something in the beginning that kind of threw off their cash flow that they never recovered from. And it's always something, right? And it's always something personal. There's always something, life happens, life events, things like that. But at all costs, you have to keep her separate. I mean, this is the only way.
Right.
So I think that starting a business and out the gate, you have to understand that you have to keep your personal and your business finances separately. And if you want, like I said, most business owners to that point, most people say, hey, I don't want to work for anybody. I'm tired of working. I'm gonna start my own business and work for myself, and think it's gonna be easy street. And it's actually harder to work for yourself than it is anyone else. And in the beginning, you're not even profitable for a number
Right.
of years. Some entrepreneurs that I know haven't even paid themselves a living wage, 3 years in, 4 years in, because they're still building their business.
Right. And you
So
to do with the fact that they didn't get a separate account for their business. It's all personal and business in one account.
that's just one thing. It's just that I use that as an example because that's the most common thing. And a lot of times people don't know how to direct their cash flow when it
Right.
happens. What type of business do you have?
Okay, so I have it's Maddie Cosmetics. It's a cosmetic line. So we have makeup, I have the foundation, the concealers, the lip gloss, the lipsticks, all the good stuff that the girls love.
Right.
I have that and I have my hats, my fedoras.
Okay.
So I had it for a couple of years now, but I'm trying to go strong and keep building. And I've been rebuilding with the Maddie Cosmetics. And I'm not that good with finances and money. So I feel like that's like my downfall is how to build my money. Stay away from it. Don't, like you said, don't. Okay.
Is that one of them? Is that
That
one of
that is
very
Drake
nice.
LLC fedora. That
Very
Yes, I
nice.
had to show her fedora.
yes.
That is very
Ah,
nice.
Sexy.
Okay. Everybody tune in.
Yeah, very nice.
But yeah, that's one of my businesses and makeup. And so it's going well, thank God. But of course, I wanted to flourish. And I know that one of the things I need to work on is finances. So that's why
So
I'm excited that you're on tonight. So we can all learn something.
right. Well, let me ask you this. Is your business, do you have like an online store? Is it mainly cash? How do you collect your revenue? How do you collect your money?
It's actually an online store. I recently just launched the website like within a week. It's like a week old now. So I'm like
Okay.
excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I just separated the payments through like PayPal.
Okay.
So, and I have like a different business card with that.
Okay.
So I'm trying to slowly but surely, like I'm trying to learn. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, but I think I wasn't doing too well with the finances part. So
So
I
let me
need
let me
help.
let me ask you this. If you go and you say you do makeup, right?
Yes.
So say you do a wedding party. What's average cost for like a wedding party, like a good wedding? Just a ballpark number. It doesn't have to be exactly what you make.
Okay. It depends on how many people are in the wedding party.
Mid-size.
Mid-size. I would say, 500-600, depending on how many people in the wedding party.
And is that cash?
It can be cash, and sometimes it's like through maybe Cash App, Venmo.
Transfer service. So let's just say they paid you cash, which I'm sure happens sometimes.
Yes.
What do? You get the cash and what do? You go home, right?
Ooh, you all in my business.
No, you don't. You don't even have to answer that. I know the answer already.
That's cute.
I know the answer already.
Mm-hmm.
You got a fistful of cash, and you feel accomplished because you're supposed to feel accomplished, and you go out or you go home and you buy Chinese that night because you're feeling good. You made $600.
Right,
When in
right.
fact, that is not your money. That's your business's money.
Yep. Yep.
Good point.
You just stole from your business. That's stealing. That money doesn't belong to you. That should have been deposited in the bank right away. $600, you can go to an ATM and deposit that.
Yes.
Cash. So that should have gone in the business bank, and to feel good or to reward yourself, you can get, I guess, 20% of what the commission of what the job was, but that whole $600 isn't yours.
Okay.
And that's the
Wow,
problem.
that was
good.
awesome. I think a lot of people need to hear that because I
Yeah.
don't think you realize
Yeah.
that was a good point.
That
Yeah,
was,
it was.
that was
Pay
the point.
Pay
And
yourself first, always. Pay
That's
yourself
it. That's
first,
what I was
always.
about to say. That's what I taught my children. It's like, when you have a job, pay
Mhm.
yourself like a bill,
Right.
and that's, what I trained them and taught them to do. I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but you will be surprised at you know, $10, $25 a paycheck, that's $50 a month. And times that by a year, and not touch that, that's how I, try to save money by doing that, paying myself first. So that
Right.
was very good.
Right. Sacrifices. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. You guys, I can mention, I guess, you guys watch Shark Tank. You see it. You see it all the time where,
I love that show, Shark
right.
Tank.
What's one of the things that Mark Cuban always stress? What are you paying yourself? And then the guy said, "Well, I pay myself 80,000." How do you pay
Mm,
yourself 80,000? You're not even profitable yet. How?
mm,
How are you
out.
going out? How are you living a lifestyle? How are you financing a Mercedes? How are you doing these
Mm,
things
mm.
and you aren't profitable yet? You're
Right.
killing your business.
You killing your business.
You're killing your business, and it's you that's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
you
can
that's doing it.
that. I think I can
You
relate to
know,
that. Mhm.
I have a new client, a popular bar that I just got connected to, so I haven't really done any work yet, but they have a cash flow problem. And I looked over the bank statements the other day, and they make a shit ton of money.
Mhm. Mhm.
But if you look at the ledgers at the end of the night, they're very weak. They're weak. That's because they're paying cash for every service. You got the guys at the door, you got the bottle girls, you got the servers, you got anyone who works for your club, you're paying them cash.
Mhm.
So that as the money come in, you already, you're handing it out at the end of the night. It's a local bar, so I'm sure they know most of the people there. You know, a lot of regulars, and there's nothing wrong with taking care of your regulars, but it can be excessive. And then if, you're heavy-handed with the shots. You're losing revenue. You're heavy-handed with the shots. You're giving out wings. I'm using
Yeah.
that as an example because she was on the phone with me and she was pretty much crying wolf because and she was adamant. Oh, I just don't understand. This, that, and the other. And I'm like, but you're giving away your money. You don't have a clear-cut understanding of where your money's going. That's what you have to do first. You
Mm.
know what I mean? You have to set a day. You don't have to pay everyone at the end of the night. I mean, you might have an agreement like that with some of the people, but you don't have to pay. You have to have you kind of want to have a schedule for your finances.
Mhm.
Well,
So
that's
that way
good.
right? So that way you know
Yeah.
where it's going. I know I pay everyone on Thursday. If you're
Mhm.
paying everyone out every night, I mean, it's really hard to keep track. They could be the same amount. Pay
Mhm.
everyone 200 a night, but what if tonight you only bring in 10 grand versus yesterday, which was 20? You're still paying so you kind of want to have a schedule. So that way you give yourself to have a better night. You give yourself to have a better day. You give yourself to have so that's the biggest thing. That's what I can stress for entrepreneurs coming, you know, starting a business and trying to um, be successful. Just kind of be mindful of your cash flow. It's
Right.
super important. Super important.
Thank
That was
you.
really good. That
No
was that
problem.
was some really good advice.
Yeah, it
How,
Thank you.
really was. Oh my,
yeah.
I
How
learned.
Thank
about
you.
how about you're trying to start a business? Um, we're trying to start a home care business. Okay, so we know that we need to get a building. Okay, so how would we generate revenue to purchase this building? The
So home care meaning like visiting nurses and things like that.
Eventually we will want to, branch out to that. Let's just say yes. Let's say yes for the moment, or maybe
Okay.
like some type of um companionship service, because you know with home care you need to have a nurse, a registered nurse. So
Right.
um so how do what advice could you provide to steer us in the right direction to start getting some type of funds, so we can start the process, if you will, get that building and eventually hire staff.
Okay. Just up front, I'm not a specialist in anything medical or nursing or
Right.
anything like that. I just want to, make that clear. But just from what you described your business model to me, and you wanted to purchase the business, the first thing I heard was visiting nursing, right? And I don't think there's much overhead in the beginning for that, because in the beginning you're just kind of like brokering people to go out to homes, and that can be a home-based thing initially, right? That
Initially,
could be a
yeah.
home that could be a home-based thing initially, or you can get one of those small like Regis offices or like a WeWork, a small shared space where you're just seeing clients face to face, getting some of their pertinent information, and then you send them on a job. So you don't need a facility at first. At first, it sounds like you can just kind of, send people out, broker these,
Mhm.
appointments and things like that, and that's how you can generate revenue that way. In the beginning, obviously, you want to make sure you're fully licensed with the state. You're talking about medical and
Right.
um, things like that. I think dealing with that is more of initially for me, it's not finding a business, it's getting the proper insurance, which is always, insurance is a tough thing. It's always hard to get when you start certain businesses that are that cause that pose liability. So the insurance is the first thing I want to work on. Trying to get that insurance, trying to get someone who's fully licensed with the state, a registered nurse, and getting all those things in place first, and then slowly, kind of grow up to it, actually getting a building. I don't think initially you need a facility. That's like a home base. If you own a home, or if you have the space in your apartment, it's just a small little office at first, and I think you can kind of start there.
Well, yeah, I feel that, but in the state of New Jersey, any
Mhm.
type of business that you have, um, it can't, it has to have, it can't be in your home. It can't be a residential thing unless it was a separate unit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So yeah,
So,
yeah, Regis office, a small like shared executive suites. You can
right.
start off there, right? I
So
would
how
start
would
there.
we still would need to have money to
Okay. So
even
so
do
you
that. So that's my question. How can I generate the income to put those steps into place? Like,
so you mean
should we go to a hedge? What you got, hedge
he-
hunter?
he-
I know there's
a
loans
hedge fund?
and grants. Oh,
You mean like startup capital, like
oh,
startup
okay.
capital? That's what you mean?
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's why you're here. That's all I'm
Yeah,
asking.
but it
Yeah.
sounds, but okay. So to clear it up, are you asking like for like a loan to start a business? How to get a loan? Where to go for a loan?
No, I'm trying to get some ideas on what steps do I need to take in order to get money so I can do all those other things. You know, I know that there's loans out there. I know that there's grants out there. Do
Right.
you have any direction on how I could, where I should go or how I could start looking and getting this stuff?
I mean, there's different avenues you could take. You could take the grant route. I'm not a grant writer, so I don't know too
Right.
much about. But you could take the grant route. You could take the SBA has like some startup capital programs that they have. Um, you can do the traditional banking route if you have a home or if you have collateral. You can take that collateral and kind of turn that into your business funds.
Mhm.
Um, I would say private money, but private money kind of wants to be involved with someone who's already operational, so that way they know they're getting paid. But there is private groups that like angel investors, uh, and the most popular thing now. I mean, everyone's doing crowd funding now, so everyone's going to friends and family, the internet,
Mhm.
GoFundMe. I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
these, you can kind of finance your own, through these different campaigns that they allow online. So there's different. I guess to answer your question, it depends on where you are and in the process of either starting your business or where you are on an operational standpoint. So if you're already
Starting.
operational, if you're
Mhm.
just starting and you're bare bones, then and if you don't have the credit, the collateral, the character, or the credit card. It's the four C's. But it was if you
Right,
don't
I
have
got
the
you.
yeah, if you don't have the necessary things to get traditional loan, then that's when you have to start looking at alternatives, which is private money through grants, angel investing. There's a lot of different groups online. I can't steer you in the direction right now as
Right,
far as
right.
which groups. I can get that to you guys, but there's groups you can go. There's like organizations you can be a part of. Women's Chamber of Commerce. You can. You know what? I would start there as a woman. And I mean that no respect. As a woman, I
Right.
would go to the Women's Chamber of Commerce, meet people, go
Yeah,
out,
that's the
socialize,
good,
drink.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a
Right.
there's a number of programs. Again, I don't know them offhand. I'm just mentioning where that cater to women, cater to women who are minority. It's just honestly knowing where to go.
yeah,
Exactly.
so,
You
It's
gave
just
me
knowing where
some
to go.
good, yeah, some good direction. And that's exactly what I
Mm.
was,
But
asking
honestly,
for. Yeah.
I would honestly check out the Women's Chamber of Commerce. I will make those connections right away.
Women's
Um,
Chambers of
e-
Commerce. Okay.
yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to have operating business to be a part. You just want to learn. You want to take advantage of their programs, things like that. And I think that
Have to write
set
that
you
one
off.
down.
so
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg,
Yes.
you left us with a lot of tidbits, and one important thing that I felt was, how should I say, a good one is knowing that most people, like if they're taking in cash, you're robbing yourself, you're robbing your company.
Robbing
Like
yourself.
that's very important that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know about.
Right.
So I would say that would be my takeaway for the evening.
If it
Ladies,
was a corporation, you'd be going to jail.
exactly, right, right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Right.
Ladies, Crystal, you have a takeaway you want
Well,
to share?
I would say
Drea, go ahead.
you kind of robbed me, Joanna, because I was gonna say that,
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
I'll say anyway. I totally will walk away with that gym because I feel like I really learned something. To basically be disciplined when it comes to my finances. Just because the cash is in my hand does not mean it's mine. Put it back into the business.
Right.
And um I'm gonna run with that. So I thank you.
Yes,
Yeah. And
yes,
just to close out really quickly, if you have employees,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even about you. It's about them. People don't realize that if you have employees, you're responsible for their livelihood.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
you have to make sure the money goes where it needs to go properly. These people have families. You got to pay them on time. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to reach out to you after
of course, of course.
Crystal, do you have any last final words?
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Greg, for
Thanks
coming
for having me.
on. Thank you for the direction. That enhanced my model because I'm really good with finances and things like that. And I'll take, that takeaway that you gave, that you gave that Drea's going to take. And definitely, folks, pay yourself. Pay yourself like a bill.
Pay
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
That works because you'd be amazed how much money you can save, even if you just put a little bit aside. So that's a
Right.
good practice as well.
Right. Even for your business.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
Well,
Greg, do you want to give sorry, Drea, real quick, just if he could update his social information for people that want to get in contact with him?
Yeah, the best way is email. I don't have any business social media right now, so um, you can email me at gadams. That's GADAMS at Sialia Capital, SIALIACAPITAL.com. So that's gadams at SialiaCapital.com. So email me. I don't want to put my number here, but yeah, email me and if you reach out to the host, they can get in contact with me as well. So I'm here to help. So thank you for having me, guys.
thank you for coming.
Yes. Thank you so much
Of
for
course.
sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. And again, as always, we just thank you again. And ladies, thank you all too. So this will conclude our session for today. And we want to thank everyone for coming. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. So again, thank you for joining
Thank
Life
you.
Lessons for a time such as now. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.